As we coming at you live and full effect. Man, when I tell you this is the greatest time of the year.
Football.
Yes, it is football season. Fall is upon us, and it is Michael with.
Tatiana.
We appreciate y'all listening in on another Watch for the Hook Wednesdays
Mm-hmm.
with the Watch for the Hook Business and Entrepreneur
That's right.
Podcast. And as always, you can always come by www.watch4, the number 4, thehook.com. Check out our latest apparel. And also, if you're listening to this podcast, that means y'all are part of our podcast community.
That's right.
We thank y'all for tuning in every Wednesday.
Thank you so much.
All right, folks. So me and Miss Parker finna dive right on into it today. And today we're gonna talk about lingo.
Yeah. Language.
And the lingo thing for especially us African American folks,
Yeah.
even though we don't really have our own language
Yeah.
per
Yeah.
se,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we all mainly speak English. So
English.
yeah, we got
Okay.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But we got they used to call it ebonics, years ago, and I think they got rid of that term. But we know how to talk to each other,
Yeah, we do. It's our own little zhuzh.
and we know how to talk to other people.
We do.
The issue now comes in as being a business owner. Does the lingo get lost in translation?
Yeah.
And when we talking about that, we're talking about how, as business owners, me and Tatiana know how to talk to everybody,
Right.
whether
Absolutely.
creed, race, ethnicity,
Ethnicity.
that part. You know, we know how to talk.
Corporate.
Yeah, talk that money.
Hustle.
Exactly. All that good stuff. But sometimes some of us can use our lingo in a atmosphere that doesn't call for it, and it can hurt you.
It can. So at that point, that's when we kind of get to the part that hitches me, right?
It
It
itches you.
hitches me. So at that point, does your lingo add value or detract value? Right? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Does it give you something extra or does it take away from you?
Right. So does it help you get where you're going? Does it help you get your point across? Is it the right audience? Or is it the fact that you're using that lingo that you're accustomed to, that maybe your culture is accustomed to, because you're using it in these very same spaces? Is it making you look and or sound like you know less?
Exactly. So I think this kind of reminded me of a situation from a couple years ago. And I think I rehashed this or brought it back up in one Instagram post. There was this podcast, and this was in our infancy of launching the Watch for the Hook Business Entrepreneur Podcast. And they wanted to reach out. They reached out to us over a couple of days,
Oh my gosh, I remember.
and they were like, well, we got this boxing podcast that we do,
Yeah,
and we think you all would be cool to talk to. And we were like,
right.
okay, but our podcast is not about boxing.
Right, right, right.
And this is in the early stages of still trying to get people to understand what the hook was a metaphor.
Yeah, it's really at that point, being able to know your own identity, right?
Exactly. Knowing which way you're trying to go and
Right,
what
right.
direction you're taking your podcast, business, whatever you want
Things
to
get
do.
lost in translation.
Yes. And so this is where the lingo comes in.
Mhm.
The lingo, the hook is the metaphor.
Right.
And so back and forth a couple of days.
Oh my God. It was yeah,
And
yeah.
we did a podcast on it, episode a couple years back. I had to go find it and rehash it again. But it was just miscommunication. And the miscommunication came from the lingo.
It did. It started to read as a cat chasing its tail. It's like, what are you asking? What do you
We would
want?
like to collaborate.
Okay, collaborate how and on what and when. If I can get those answers to those questions, what are we talking about?
We never got those answers in
Um,
a 48 to 72 hour time span.
yeah. I sometimes feel like I'm like, man, I hate we really couldn't get that off or make that connection. But I don't know, how long are you supposed to, essentially be a cat chasing your tail?
Yeah, and I mean,
So at that point in time, I think the lingo for them, it could have been, now that I think about it, it could have been a couple of things.
yeah,
It could have definitely, for us on our end, had been perceived as a value detractor,
yes,
because I need you to get to the point. I need you to get to the point quicker, and I
yes,
need it to translate over to what we're doing. Like, I'm not gonna buy what you're selling if it's not gonna be beneficial for me. But then if you can't really tell me what you're selling, then, that makes you wonder, like, what are you doing? Do you understand? Do you know the lingo you should be using?
and that goes back to one of the main things that we always talked about. Remember, in the beginning, the idea, the concept was somebody presented to us, y'all should interview retired and older boxers
And
and
we knew
stuff
that
like
didn't
that.
work for
And it
us.
was like, no, we're talking about business. The hook is a metaphor.
Right.
And it took some time to keep getting that message across, and we still keep preaching that same message.
Yeah.
It's a
And
metaphor.
we even see other brands where, because of some of the trials we've had, we're like, okay, that's gonna be hard. Doesn't mean it's impossible. We're just like, that could potentially be like rough,
Yes, we've advised people from learning from our experiences. If you're
which is
gonna
the whole point of this podcast.
free game, if you're gonna have to keep explaining it, it's going to be rough on you.
It is, because it's gonna start to make you question yourself. You're
Mm.
gonna question your own lingo. And at that point, hell, you should, because it's not translating over. Something's confusing somewhere.
Yes,
It's still about lingo.
yes. Because to go back, the original title of this podcast was "Watch for the Hook." Then it was changed to the Watch for the Hook Business and Entrepreneur Podcast
After working with a mentor,
after
right?
working with a
Mhm.
mentor and understanding the lingo.
Yep.
You know what lingo is? Lingo is, what are people looking for? Are people looking for Watch for the Hook? Or are they looking for Watch for the Hook Business and Entrepreneur
But
Podcast?
I think you can even take it a step further. It's not just what are people looking for, it's how are people going to understand it?
How can they digest what you're giving them?
How? Because again, they have to buy what you're selling.
Yes.
And if you're selling a hodgepodge of stuff, they may not be in the business for hodgepodge.
And a lot of things are sold as hodgepodges now.
Yeah, because in some instances, not all, and I don't want to get off topic,
No, no, no. We on lingo.
that could be a smoke screen. You know, that's the honestly, I'm gonna say this, and I probably shouldn't. That's that throwing that spaghetti at the wall
See what sticks.
to see what's
Crazy thing is, when it comes to lingo, lingo can be your binding ingredient in what you're
Mhm.
cooking.
Yep.
Just throw the food metaphor out there.
Yep.
It can be your binder. You know what a binder is? It holds it
It's that
together.
glue.
It holds it together. And so for us, we have learned over being almost 6 years in the apparel
Oh
business,
wow, it's been
rolling
crazy.
into see third year of being a podcaster.
Yeah,
I mean, we're learning as we go,
and we share.
and we're sharing it right back because we're like, oh man, we didn't know this a year and a half ago
Mhm.
or 6 months. Some of this shit we didn't know 6 weeks.
Yeah, and you know what? Back to the lingo, which I don't think we've ever actually left. Um, Even with working with another, I'll say brand. I don't
Yeah,
I don't want to say
yeah,
brand.
yeah, yeah.
Sometimes when you ask for my feedback, I tell everybody, y'all, I shoot straight from the hip. Um, like no chaser, straight no chaser. That's me. Been like that my whole life, and I have grown to love that me.
I love that too.
Cause
I
you
ain't gonna lie, she didn't hit me a few times.
snip snip. Um,
Hold up, Blair.
no, what you-
Snip,
oh,
snip.
okay, you know it, right? Sound effect, right? But when I give you my feedback, I'm giving it to you based on a how a patron might perceive it and receive it, and then B, based on a lot of experiences we've had. So it does not mean it's negative or positive, right? It could just be based on an experience, but that's my experience. When you ask people for feedback, typically because they have more experience in an area than you have, right?
Yep.
So I'll give you my feedback, and then you turn into a cat chasing your tail.
And based on the feedback and the cats that's chasing their tail, we also want to remind y'all podcast money merch is still there.
Mhm.
It's on the
Hasn't
website.
gone anywhere.
It's a free 30-minute call with me and Miss Parker. We're gonna never take podcast money merch down. Podcast money merch isn't just about podcasting.
No.
It's about anybody who has the aspirations of being an entrepreneur or being a podcaster who need to ask the tough questions.
Idea to implementation.
Yeah. And we give you the real answers back
Mhm,
because
mhm.
we've already been tried and true. I know a lot of people be like, man, we looking for people who got experience and who done this and who done that. I'm gonna tell you like this. A lot of people get it twisted when they think there are more overnight successes than people who took 20, 30 years to make it.
Right.
Don't get it twisted. Them overnight successes are one in a million.
Yeah.
The 20 to 30-year people that took it to make it, they're like 10,000 in a million. So you're getting a better average. But, hey, we're just going to keep letting you know.
Right.
Podcast Money Merch is always going to be available. It's a free 30-minute call. Hook up with us there. And we're going to give y'all the real, raw, and uncut.
Mhm.
And that's what a business owner needs. And that's the same thing when it comes back to this lingo thing we're talking about. You have to be honest with yourself. A lot of people, even like, let's say lingo. Why did we come up with the phrase hook up with us? Just listen to the lingo. Watch for the hook.
Right.
You're giving your customers thanks
Right.
in that lingo. Thank you for hooking up with us.
Right.
It's lingo.
It is.
That is universally, I'm telling you like this. Me and Miss Parker have said that to countless people, and the reaction has been 100% of the time. That's so cute.
Uh-huh.
Oh, this nice. Look at y'all. Look, see y'all smart. See
Yeah.
y'all smart. See, it's simple. You're tying it back into what you are.
And we don't have to explain that at all.
Yeah, because they know switching up means they patronize
Yeah.
us or
Yeah.
download it
They've
or
been a
like
part in some shape, form, or fashion.
exactly.
So we now connect.
We see that's lingo.
Yeah.
Simple Simon. Come on, y'all.
But
Come on, Lee. Come on. Jump on, Lee. Jump on.
but when you ask like for feedback and you get feedback, and then you go, well, I'm asking for your feedback. Hey, I gave you my nicest form of feedback. Now I'm going to give you my real feedback. This is trash. Don't be surprised.
We've talked about this.
This is trash.
We've talked about this, I'm gonna say over 100 times. Putting your creatives on display.
Yes.
So part of your lingo, part of what you selling, spitting, talking, advertising, just throwing it into the universe. When you do that, you are opening yourself up for interpretation and feedback.
Absolutely.
It's not gonna be all positive.
Nope.
No way,
Because
shape,
it
or form.
stings when somebody go, yeah, I don't like it. Or they go, oh, that's cute. That you're not getting from them what you're looking for. So now you made.
Mm. I'll give you another example of some stuff we've done. So our first hoodie design, we were basing it off the premise of the pyramids of Giza.
Hmm.
And that hoodie had three pyramids with it was a sand color hoodie, had three pyramids.
I think we've talked about this one a little bit too.
Pyramids were shaded with the red, black, and green colors
Yep.
for a reason. Most of those colors come from the continent of Africa.
Right.
And then on the left side of each one of those pyramids where it was shaded,
Yep.
It said black on one, history on the second one, interrupted on the third one. Why did we do that?
No, 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 no. It said slavery interrupted Black
See,
history.
see, you
Yeah.
see, you fixed it.
Yeah.
But see, I
Slavery interrupted Black history.
and why do we use that design?
You left a piece of the design off.
Oh, the water
Uh-huh.
and up under is
Uh-huh.
watch for the hook.
Yeah.
We chose that design as a link to our heritage.
Yes.
Because listen, this heritage thing is different for black folks. Because our heritage stops at slavery, it stops at 1619 for most people. No, our heritage is well before that. And we try to explain that we are not just the past that they allow us to know.
We were not established in 1619.
Exactly. Slavery interrupted what's been us since long, long,
So
long
in
time.
essence, if I me in my head concept wise, I'm like EST period before 1619, right? I'm established before 1619.
Yeah, we established for a lot of these
Right,
things,
right, right. But in the books, in the classrooms,
Yeah, they
it
don't really talk
don't
about
start
that.
until 16. Like we appeared in 1619.
And that's about the lingo. We
Yeah,
chose that lingo. We chose those phrases for a reason. We wanted to ignite something in ourselves to make sure we're infinite.
right.
When I say infinite, I mean as a culture. Our date is infinite.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't a before and there ain't an end. We're infinite. We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna go until the time has no time.
Right.
So that's what that was trying to express in that lingo.
Right, 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 right.
Even us. Fact is, we even made a shirt that says, think about things differently.
Mm-hmm.
Easy concept. The lingo is just think about things a little differently. What we did was we flipped the F's and the differently. We
Yeah,
put the whole
yeah.
word and
You
we
yeah, the whole
inverted it.
word, yeah.
It's lingo.
Mm-hmm.
That shirt, and a lot of people have told us, that shirt still grabbing the minds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're like, what that mean? We like, shit, what it mean to you? Because it's not for the wearer,
Right.
it's for the reader.
Right, right, right.
That's lingo.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're trying to get people to understand. Does your lingo affect you in a positive way
Yeah.
or a negative way?
Yeah. Is it value add or value detractor?
Because Miss Parker tell me a lot of time, hey, you need to change them words.
Yep.
She like, that don't make no sense. I'm like, it
Or
sounded good.
it's too long. Like
She like,
shorten it up.
She
Shorten it
like,
up. Give me some staccato.
She saying, "Well, nobody gonna understand that.
Mm-mm. Right too
Or
much.
or they don't want to hear all that.
Mm-mm.
Flip it, do
Mm-mm.
this."
Get it, get it, get it, get it.
And for that, as a business owner, you have to be able to say, let me figure it out.
Right. But you have to be open to that type of constructive feedback.
Yeah, because everything has a point.
Mm-hmm. It should.
It's either gonna be positive or negative.
Yeah.
And if it don't move the needle, then that means I
Start
really
over.
exactly. I mean, I really wasted my time.
Start over.
Because when we look at it, if your lingo isn't even swinging the pendulum left or right, start over.
Yeah. Start over.
Second thing, if you're seeing things that you don't like, change course.
Yeah. 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 She start over. No.
I mean, some things you don't have to start over, but
Yeah.
you
Right.
can say
Yeah.
you can't see that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You hear that
Tweak.
lingo?
Yeah.
He said tweak it.
Yeah.
Tweak it means just adjustment. Just a little bit.
Yep.
Dial it to the left or dial it to the
Right.
right.
Right. Right. Right.
This happens every day in business.
All day.
It
Pivot.
happens.
Pivot. Pivot. It's called a pivot.
Yeah. People have to understand money does not stop moving.
No.
Money moves every second, every day,
All day long.
every hour. Whether you're paying attention to it or whether somebody told you about it.
Or it's hitting your account or not.
Exactly. That's why when people are dealing with stock markets and all this other stuff, stock markets have this open and close time, but they're lying to y'all.
They're lying to the people.
You're lying to people. That stuff's still moving. Forget what y'all say. Because they can sit there and be like, right now, this is an election year. We already know what the deal is. Do your research. Follow what happens to most economies, just not even America. Check other countries.
Right.
When they have an election year, just go Google. I mean, it's a simple search.
Mhm.
Google what happens with their economy during the
Mhm.
election year. It's very unstable.
Yep. 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 It's swinging left and right.
It's all over the place. A good economy, or as people on your lingo, is going upwards.
Right.
That's the lingo you're looking for.
Right.
It's
You need
steady.
that. You need
Yeah,
that trajectory.
yeah, it's climbing.
Mhm.
Right now, what's climbing for us? Inflation.
Mm.
That's the lingo you hate to, that's the word you hate to hear for inflation.
So it's
It's
climbing.
rising.
It's climbing the inverted way.
You want inflation at an all-time low,
Right.
not
Yeah.
all-time.
Right. It's climbing the inverted
Yeah,
way.
yeah. You hear that? You heard the words all-time high.
Yeah.
This is your salary or
Exactly.
your business
Yeah.
profitability. Mm, Only two times you ever want to hear all time.
That's it.
It's like, I
Yeah.
appreciate you, man. This lingo thing is, man, I like this.
Mhm.
You know, we trying to educate the people.
Yeah. I
Oh,
mean, lingo, like just on either side of the world that you're looking at, whether it's corporate or it's personal entrepreneurship. I've seen people get ahead and get over with the right lingo. And it's like at that point in time, you have to really be able to identify, when is this happening? Why is it happening? Like, what can I do about it? So let's say get over spirit.
Miss Parker basically said, lingo makes the world go round,
Yeah.
but lingo can get you up
Mhm.
and it can get you down.
Sure can.
Get y'all next time.